Welcome, listeners. I'm so excited. I've got my Coach Tracy, back today. We missed you. You were gone 1 month, so we're glad that you're back. And listeners, I know that I work with Tracy all the time, and I'm doing a really in-depth, is it called self-made teaching?
The student teacher program.
Student teacher I don't even know the name of it, and but it's because I'm so wrapped up in it. But Tracy has been so kind. She's got a mind over matter course, and we're going to just delve into a little bit of an issue today that comes up for me. But I want you to know that you can learn how to kind of take control of your mind through this course now that Tracy has, and she's going to give it to you half off. We're going to do a little coupon code in the show notes, so go there if you need it, because it's really helpful. But what I wanted to talk to Tracy about today is I have clients, and divorce is always hard. But sometimes people assume that if they're the one who wants to move forward with the divorce, the other person doesn't want to. And maybe there's not even a real glaring reason, but that person really feels like they want to move on. There's a tremendous amount of grief and pain for that person who wants to move on. And I've also seen it with the blame of, some of my clients have been through addiction issues, and they think that they blew the marriage and they're so downtrodden about that. So I want to talk, Tracy, about that blame. If you can go into some detail about how can we work through that. And listeners, think about it in your own terms. Like, what are you blaming yourself for? It doesn't have to be related to a divorce. It can be any other thing that you're blaming yourself for.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you are teeing it up where blame, a feeling, right? The feeling of personal blame or wanting to blame somebody else. Like, you can think of it as an action, but if you are feeling a sense of, shame, guilt, regret, or you're frustrated with, the other person and you are quote unquote blaming them. I like the fact that you are framing it up that way, because the only reason why you are feeling that is because of the way you are thinking about the circumstance. So you so beautifully teed up the What's the Matter program. I am always asking people, what's the matter? And typically their answer is a circumstance, like, I'm going through a divorce. My husband is addicted to alcohol. Our marriage is, loveless. Okay.
Right.
I want you to recognize that anything you are feeling is coming from a thought. If you are in pain, the reason why you're in pain is because you are thinking something. Therefore, hear me when I say that. Therefore, the solution lies within you. If what is the matter is a feeling, and your feelings are caused by what it is that you're thinking, the solution lies within you. I want everybody to start with themselves. I want people to ask themselves, what is it that I'm feeling and why? It's always a belief, a thought, a sentence that's running through your head that has you feeling the way you're feeling. That's where we need to start. We solve that by understanding what it is that you're thinking, why you're thinking that. You just probably haven't been taught how to think in a way that creates an experience that you want. That's what my program is all about. What's the Matter will teach you how to operate with self-control, how to operate by thinking what it is that makes you feel what it is that you want to be feeling. So,
And Tracy, I have to jump in. I mean, it's kind of about suffering less. And I don't mean to throw another topic in, but as you're talking about this, I keep thinking about how I have felt about finances for so many years. And we've talked about it before, but I suffered, Tracy. I suffered. I was sabotaged by all these, feelings and thoughts that I believed that I was failing, that I wasn't making enough, wasn't saving enough. And I suffered through years. And now when I look back, I go, well, the solutions I came up with weren't that bad. Maybe I took a little loan out of the 401k once in a while when things were really tight. But really, those decisions, now when I look back, everything worked out, right? And here I sit and I think, why did I suffer? Like, why did I have to suffer through that? Because everything turned out okay.
And now that you know how to operate from your prodigy brain, from the part of your brain that strips away the drama, that actually can be intentional about thinking versus being on default and operating from beliefs that you brought forward since you were a little girl. Now that you know how to do that, your suffering is going to be so much less. I'm not saying that we can get rid of all suffering. I think as humans, we're meant to suffer for a lot of reasons, but the unnecessary suffering is what I want to eliminate.
Exactly. And I so get what you're saying because I still go there. I still get like knotted up about finances. And then I go, okay, stop. Wait a second, Lisa. What's going on here? What are you thinking? What have you learned? Is this how you need to, and so you kind of go, but it's still, boy, and kind of in every area of my life, it doesn't go away. It's still there. I'm still the one who wants to please. I'm heading to Cancun. Oh my gosh, say prayers for me with a bunch of high school kids. But and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be in a swimming suit. That again, you think you kind of overcome it because you do for a moment. But then I feel like as I keep practicing it, and then as I, kind of work through my feelings, like maybe when I go to Cancun and I work through feeling good about who I am and that I'm healthy and strong. And then as I dive into the pool, that will teach, I'll get courage from the feeling, which leads to that action. It's teaching me how to keep suffering less, but it doesn't go away.
Right. And if you have an expectation that it's going to go away, that's going to create unnecessary suffering because it's not going to go away. You're never going to get rid of the part of your brain that has operated from those neural pathways. It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
So if you have an expectation that you're never going to have those kind of thoughts or feelings, that is going to create unnecessary suffering.
Right.
Right.
And I do think that I am a fixer. I think that before I met you, I just thought I'll learn it and then I'll be done with it. I'll learn it and then I can move on. I'll learn it. And so, yes, I learn it and I keep getting better with the tools, but it's still there. And, maybe eventually it'll slowly dissipate. I can tell you that I'm living a much better life than I was 2 years ago. And all I can say is not that much has changed, but what's going on in this head, in this ugly little hat.
Now you've got to use the video.
I know. I'm like, Trace, I don't think so. Yeah. My grandson left this morning. I'm tired. I'm sad that he's gone. And I had to throw this dumb little hat on. And I'm like, Tracy, I don't know if this is going on YouTube, but I'll put it on YouTube now.
And then you've got to put the teeny weeny beanie video.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I invite any of your listeners to take advantage of that 50% off deal. It's $13, you guys. So if you can learn to create self-control for $13 and rid yourself of unnecessary suffering, and I will just tell you, if you apply this, it will absolutely change your life personally, professionally. It'll change your relationships. It will change the level of happiness that you experience because it changes the moment by moment journey. And I promise you, if that sounds like rhetoric, just try it. It's called the self-control operating system because it is a system. I teach you how to apply it in different circumstances, whether it's, a marriage where one partner is addicted, or a loveless marriage, or whatever the circumstance may be, this system has unlimited applications, and the insight is not enough. I could have taught it to you here in the last 10 minutes. That's not enough. You have to apply it
Yes.
consistently to see how it works for you, so that you can decide, okay, I have the evidence that this actually works, so I'm going to continue to apply it. And that's what it takes. That's what it looks like to take on that kind of responsibility, to live a different type of life. And I just encourage you, find that courage to step up to the plate and give something, a different way of operating, a try.
Why not? What have you got to lose? I mean, for $13, that's just, it's so nothing. And I love, like you brought up how you have to do the work. So that learning, what I have learned from you is that learning piece is 20% of it.
Mm-hmm.
The 80% comes when you take what Tracy teaches you and you every day apply it.
Yes.
That's when your life changes.
Yes. And this Mind Over Matter course or lesson, 3-part lesson, it spends the first 2 days really teaching. And the last day, we're going to go through some applications, so that when you get done taking this course, you really feel a sense of control. You really feel equipped that no matter what the circumstance, you can pull it out of your back pocket and give it a try.
Yep. And there are tough circumstances.
Amen.
Yep. And so, and one other thing that I want to mention too is that we talk sometimes about, sometimes you do just need to sit in the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but think, like, if there's someone listening who just found out that their spouse wants a divorce, there's going to be some grief there.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some working through. And is it kind of just up to the person to decide how long they want to sit in that and feel it? Don't be afraid to feel it. There are some people that'll tell you, shift your thought, get out of it. But sometimes they're there for a reason, and it's icky and it doesn't feel good, but there's probably a gift in it if you look.
Mm-hmm. There absolutely is, because what that's providing you is the contrast. Without feeling icky, you're never going to know what joy actually feels like. So that's one gift. I really want you to expand your capacity for being able to feel those unwanted feelings.
Yes.
So many of us run from it, and we turn to alcohol, we turn to food,
Yeah.
whatever, the buffer du jour is. And I want you to prove to yourself that you have the capacity to sit with even the unwanted feelings. So there's a lot of value with sitting in it until you're ready not to. And how do you know when you're not to? Look at your results. Yep. Look at your results. So it will be very clear to you when you start getting results in your life that you don't like. Now it's time to feel differently.
I agree. And I have been on that side where I've gone through something really hard, and you looked at me and said, how long do you want to feel like this? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not ready to get out of it right now.
Right.
But I will say too, the more that I do that, it seems like the sooner I move out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yep. And that's just because you roll up your sleeves and you do the work. It does take application, and you do, every day you are in the state of becoming, right? You're becoming self-made, and you're impacting others' lives, obviously, through this podcast and so many other ways. But I want to commend you for doing the work, for really digging in, being vulnerable. You show up in your purple hat.
Well, I had to be here today.
Yeah, no, but you are doing the work, and you are such an example of what is possible. And I so appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you, Tracy. If I can help spread what you've taught me to my divorcing clients and co-parents, my heart is full. So we're kind of doing this together in tandem. Yeah. And okay, so listeners, it's going to be in the show notes, but I think the coupon code is LESA, all capitals.
That's right.
So put that in, and it's at selfmadeyou.com. Again, it'll be in the show notes, but if you don't have those in front of you, it's really easy to get. And I totally recommend it. let's just like stop suffering so much now.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lisa.
Oh my gosh. Thanks so much for being here, Tracy.